Good morning. I'm RJ Baxter, your out-of-the-box lender with your Saturday strategy. This week, I want to talk about appraisal waivers, a commonly misunderstood concept out there, how they work, and in what circumstances you can get an appraisal waiver for your buyer. So basically, what an appraisal waiver means is that we don't need to get an appraisal done. We have the option where the buyer can waive the appraisal, and that means that the lender has accepted the value for the property for what it is, for what the sales price is, basically. Now, this is great because it not only does it save the buyer the appraisal fee cost, but it also eliminates the possibility of either an appraisal coming in low or an appraisal being subject to repairs to be completed before closing, which comes up sometimes and makes it a lot more cumbersome of a process, because then we have to address those particular repair items, get them done before closing, and verify that they're complete. So under what circumstances do we get an appraisal waiver? Now, this is determined by your lender when they run your buyer's file through automated underwriting. Automated underwriting is a system that all lenders use, and we run every application through this system to determine a lot of things, whether the buyer is approved the loan, and it tells us a lot of information, one item of which is whether or not the buyer needs to get an appraisal done. So the automated underwriting system tells us this information, if we need an appraisal or not. Now, the cool thing is that if your buyer is getting a conventional loan, there's actually two underwriting systems. There's one for Fannie Mae called DU, or Desktop Underwriter. There's one for Freddie Mac called LP, or Loan Prospector. So a savvy lender will try both systems to see if one system gives us a waiver when the other one may not. So if, let's say, Freddie Mac doesn't give us a waiver, but Fannie Mae does, that means we can take the loan in the direction of Fannie Mae and offer that waiver to your buyer. Now, how does Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac determine if a waiver is allowed in a particular transaction? The way they do this is every time a transaction is done, that information is entered into the system on the back end. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they have access to similar type closings that were appraised, what kind of value they appraised at, whether it's a refinance or purchase. And Fannie Mae has an algorithm or a way of analyzing that data when we run it through that computer underwriting system, where they can determine if the value that we put into the system is reasonable for that property. Now, we do tend to get better results if a buyer is stronger, if they have a larger down payment, if a higher credit score, things of this nature. But it's mostly driven by comparable data that's in the system. So just putting, let's say, 60% down on a property, that doesn't mean that automatically a buyer is going to get an appraisal waiver. There's a lot of other factors that go into it. So I hope that helps you out to understand a little bit more about appraisal waivers. Now, if you have other questions about appraisal waivers, if I didn't cover something that's on your mind, feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to walk through it or explain it further. And of course, if you have a particular property that you want to look at, I'm happy to run that for you as well to see if that property could qualify for an appraisal waiver. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate you watching. Always here for you for other questions as well. And thank you very much for watching.